Hey there, this is Dora from Write with Magic. And today I'm going to discuss a question that a lot of writers ask themselves, and that is, how do I know whether my writing is good enough? The short answer is that you don't know, and as I will explain in this video, the question itself doesn't even make sense. So, the first thing that I want to explain is that many people assume that good writers have the entire story formed in their heads and they just write it and it comes out almost perfectly on the first go. And that is actually not the case at all. Writing is a dialogue between you and the page, and you're literally making it up as you go along. Now, this can be different if you're doing technical writing and you're just reporting, your findings. But if you're watching this video, I think that you're doing more creative type of writing, even if you're writing nonfiction, because nonfiction also includes many stories and interpretations. So if you're doing creative type of writing, then you're making it up as you are in the process of writing. So you might have that base idea, that seed in your mind, but you don't have the full story formed. So you're making it up as you're writing. The second point that I want to make is that at the end, what you're going to get could be something completely different than what you intended to write. And that's actually a good sign. It means that you were really writing creatively. If you wrote exactly what you had intended to write, well, then it wasn't very creative, right? So expect that your end product is going to be very different than what you started out with. And that's literally the definition of creative writing. And the final point that I want to make is that it's not up to you to judge your writing. This is actually the most important point right here. And I have a couple of stories to back that up. So during my PhD, I felt very self conscious of not being a native English speaker, of not being a writing major. So when it came time for me to write my publications, I felt I was really inadequate for them. And I struggled with that first publication for about 6 months. And I was not happy with what I ended up writing due to the deadline. I had to submit something to my supervisor, so I did. And then I get an email from him that he wanted to see me in his office. And I was just really nervous. I thought, finally, I'm going to be discovered. I've been an imposter all along. Um, and as soon as I stepped into his office, he said, Dora, I didn't realize you were such a good writer. This manuscript is excellent. It's like, wow, that was really my first lesson in realizing that the way I judge my writing and the way other people see it are completely different. And then a couple of years later, when I wrote the first draft of The Smart Way to Your PhD, I also didn't think that I had something that good, but I felt like, I really want to write this book. So I wrote the introduction and the first chapter, and I sent it off to somebody who volunteered to be my first reader, who also had a PhD. And they said, Dora, I think you have something really original here. You should really publish this. People could really benefit from it. And indeed, that was the case. We've sold more than 20,000 copies of the book, and this was something that I didn't even think was useful to people. Um, so it's really not up to you to judge your writing. You need to let your readers decide what they're going to get out of it, what's going to land for them. And it very well could be that they'll read your writing more than once, and each time something different will grab them, a different part of your story or your message. As a writer, your job is to write and then let the readers get the part that they need to hear the most. So I hope these 3 tips really helped you today. And I know that this is all well and good, but how do you actually create a writing routine so you write day after day despite having those negative thoughts in your mind, all that self doubt? Well, I created a really cool tool, a daily writing checklist, and you can find it at writewithmagic.com/checklist. And it's a tool that has already helped many authors to write daily. And it's something that you can customize to yourself. But it's just a checklist that you keep next to yourself just to help your mind to get in the gear of writing every single day or every day that you want to write. So it just makes your life easier as a writer. It just takes the guesswork out of what do you need to do today to be able to write for an hour, half an hour, whatever it is that you plan for writing today. So it's just going to help you to create your own writing routine, the one that fits in best with your daily commitments. So you can download that right now at writewithmagic.com/checklist. And I look forward to hearing about your writing success stories.